I think we can still write a lot of things about UpGo.
My thoughts are this. I mean, I think we should still write. We should not have it, but we should be prepared that it will be probably the first to get cut.
Oh, this is live.
Yeah.
Oh,
Should it
okay.
not be live?
Writing hangouts. Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter.
They're usually live.
Okay.
So you know, I think as Al and I were talking a little bit that to kind of recycle back that you know,
Oh, Trigva?
Trigger frozen.
Oh,
Hey, Saif.
we lost him. As you
Here.
know, I was a couple of minutes late, and we had a few people that just jumped in. Neil, can you kind of catch us up on sort of? Oh, there's Trigva. Trigva, for us latecomers, can you just kind of catch us up on sort of where we are, what we're looking to do, etc.?
So I think, okay, so I can recap real quick. What we can do in this week, we can have like initial draft and content for each of the sections going. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to fit the length, but as long as it is kind of mapped towards CHI paper through like HCI-ish language, it should be good, and then we can trim it as we go.
Yeah, I just meant specifically in this call.
Yeah. So
like which paragraphs are we working on in this specific call?
So the Trigway proposed one paragraph that we can start working on.
And which one is that?
so we are responsible for the Daemo section.
Right.
Okay.
Into the body of the work, which it's part of 3 sections. We're going to do the first part of it.
Okay, and this is where we're actually describing the system specifically, the mechanics, the bits and pieces, how things work, etc. Correct?
You're right.
Exactly. So
it's pretty clinical by nature, or?
I mean, we know how it's been written at this point. I think the clinical part, the atomization of the platform occurred. I mean, if you look at the intro is longer because it is like it's spot on. I mean, it is really distilled what the systems are going to do.
Right.
Now, I think that's where they belong. And if that's the case, then you should just recap and tie it in. Maybe add a little more flourish, because what is not explicit, at least as I see it, is how we're going to facilitate trust. I think it's almost consistent. Well, if you build a reputation system, it's going to improve trust, and I think that's fine in that particular piece. But I think this in the platform, maybe this is the opportunity where we inject a little bit more of the mechanisms systematically where or how the trust will be brought.
You mean outside of those 2 moments that were in the intro, or sort of inside those 2 moments?
I think inside those 2 moments.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, we need to keep walking
because we need to
along those two ways.
Yeah, we need to get deeper into it. But Neil, my question to you is the experiments. Well, let's call them experiments, but the studies that we're going to do, they ultimately, the way I am reading it, and I've just been a passive participant in this, but I'm getting the sense that they are designed to just validate systems, which to just make sure the systems work, that they actually, that the reputation system, it's going to function as advertised. Okay, and that what I'm thinking is that's what needs to happen, because it needs to work, and it needs to work as per spec. But I don't see much room or latitude there to simultaneously measure and assess trust.
Yes. So the intellectual claim we are making, trust is broken because reputation systems in the current world are broken. So
Correct.
what are the reasons these reputation systems are not working? One is that this inflated rating. So question is, how do you fix the inflated rating? And we propose using Boomerang fixes it. Then we validate that whether Boomerang really works or not. If we are successful proving that Boomerang really works, that implies that we are re-establishing the reputation mechanism, and that implies that we are fixing the trust. So that's how we kind of like trying to close that cycle.
I mean, that sounds almost tautologic to me. I mean, but that's from a social science perspective. That's, the color is blue. Why? Because it's blue. Well, it's for me. That seems like a very, very fine line, because unless we're going to say that that there's we can lay claim that it's going to create predictability, and as such it's removing a lot of the uncertainty, it's opening up pathways of communication, and it's improving the perception, the dissonance between a requester's perception and reality has been mitigated.
You can say that we have to measure it somehow.
I mean,
No study.
in all the literature, it's a small little piece, but the legitimacy of the system is ultimately, for all that thing that I just mentioned, if you can't measure it, it ain't worth bupkis. So that brings us back to this question, is we're going to validate the reputation system. And I want to be clear that yes, that needs to happen. But is there a way, as that is going on, can we bake in a process, a question, something, and there are many different methods that would strike towards trust? Just give us a little something to show that it's measurable beyond the actual functionality of the system.
I don't think my understanding is that we are not doing that specifically.
Right.
My understanding is that we are working from the previous works of research saying that the broken reputation system is the source of that trust break.
Yes.
We're not actually, so we're just moving from that research point. I don't think we've solved a way to actually measure trust, which is why I think we're just taking it from that one little piece.
You're
Like,
right.
somebody else proved this, so we're going to solve it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that we shouldn't. I'm just saying I think that I don't know how we would take that on at this point.
Yeah, my understanding also, like we are stopping the reputation inflation, but we don't, specifically, improve the trust in this, right?
I mean, we're making a connection that and I'm not disagreeing. I'm playing more devil's advocate here. I think that having an effective, honest, authentic reputation system is going to do wonders for the relationship. But it leaves this big dangling participle. Well, what makes it effective? Is it the diminishment of the reputation inflation? Personally, I think it's more what's going to improve trust is that the reputation system is a conduit. It's opening up pathways of communication that have never existed. And that there's going to be the honesty because there is more transparency. My baseline for my understanding of all this is that there's now a new opportunity for both parties to participate in the success of the project, i.e. the work.
I think what we can do, because I think you're right, and you're right in a significant way, in that if we are working on someone else's research where they have made this claim about broken trust being from the reputation inflation as an example. And we then solve the reputation inflation. I think it is completely normal to want to close that loop all the way back to trust. I don't, and I think that's 100% correct. I don't know if we can do that here, but I think that to your point, because as we're solving this, we're creating more opportunities for sort of trust reinforcement, that I think we can very much bring those in that light. That these aren't necessarily elements that are addressing a proven trust breaking point, but as we are solving these trust issues, we also provide the following trust reinforcement opportunities, such as, and that way we don't make any claim. There are things that we're just building that will be future opportunity. It sets the stage for future work. And I think as they are parts of the actual system and things that can be described because they're tools, I think it's very appropriate to set that stage. Because what you're saying is it's significant and it's important. And I think that we definitely have a way that we can address it within the construct of the way the paper is set now.
Trying to go back.
So this is what we can do. We can start somewhere. We can start adding the sections. And once we have full content, we can see the story and try to bring it like one single cohesiveness, right?
Okay.
So Neil, we used the expression 2 moments when trust is particularly vulnerable. How would that be used as a synonym for friction? Because that's I've seen used more often than vulnerability, which is a unique expression I have not read anywhere in the literature. I particularly like it, but it doesn't link into any of the narrative.
Trigby, you cut out. Which word did you use?
Vulnerability that we've used, we focus on 2 moments when trust is particularly vulnerable in crowdsourcing marketplaces.
And what word were you proposing?
Well, I'm asking, is that a synonym or is that a similar concept to friction?
Oh, friction. Okay.
Yeah, which is a word I've heard Bernstein's used it a couple times, but it's also come up often in the literature. Because friction, it's easier to say we're creating less friction. we're creating smoothness, because instead of vulnerability, we would need to then have the antecedent to that. So we're going to now create. Are we going to literally creating stations? Are we going to be creating wellness communities? Are we going to utilize some of that lean language because there's a spot for it? We could totally do that, but is that what we're looking to do? Yes.
Let's see what everybody else says, but I think as we start writing, we can throw it in there and see how it feels.
Okay.
I think we should just start, do we want to start writing, or are we there?
I think we reached some point where we started discussing about trust only within requester and worker, so that is only a one-to-one connection. I think we should be focusing on in OpenGo. We should be focusing on building trust within the platform. The focus here should be on the platform, not requesters and workers alone. Because when we were discussing about the Amazon issue, so it was within the platform which was removed, right? So it was a discussion happening in text. So we lost that point completely post that. So once we started writing paper, so we just kept discussing on trust between requester and worker, so, which looks to me like a dispute management. So like earlier, the platform like Upwork or others, they do that by dispute management, where the requester can post a problem or worker can post a problem, and they can sort it through a mediator. But I guess in the OpenGo, we should be looking at requesters group as a whole and workers group as a whole, where they can push their issues either the crowd collective or maybe a leadership board. And
Yeah, so for
I think, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so this paper, uh, we decided to like get through prototype task and boomerang system and use OpenGo as a another pillar that we will introduce in like upcoming papers. Um,
Because I mean, to Neil's point and to what we mentioned earlier, we have to validate, we have to prove it.
yeah, the validation becomes challenging in OpenGo part.
Um,
But yeah, I mean all those points are I totally agree with you. Like they are critical points, uh, and they're gonna play a huge role not only in paper but in our platform as well.
yeah. So keep writing about the OpenGov stuff. I know Mohammed has been has got tons of content. Keep writing about it. The time is not now. We're gonna validate this dyadic relationship. The next paper, I can imagine, is going to be more about systematic trust, structural trust, trust transference. Because as we have more volume and more repetition, we'll then be able to validate the systemic impact of tools. And then the third paper will not probably, if you look from a linear progression, would then be opt-out. At that point, we'll have enough people in the system, we'll have enough reputation, we'll have enough repetition, we'll have all the transactional pieces will be working, and then that gives us that level playing field to start managing, assessing, and evaluating the infrastructure we put in place. There's observations, anecdotes, keep a journal, and just keep writing all this stuff down. We'll put it all to use. Okay, so let's talk a little bit then about how we want to write this thing. I threw out the shared document. I don't know if it encourages, if it stimulates more conversation. Great. If it's not because it's out of left field, then
I think
let's just start from scratch.
do you guys think we should have one document that we can write in?
Yes.
Because like there are so many sections and so many documents. Like I'm kind of like my eyes don't like to see that Google logo again and again.
We had an introduction and then the outline and that outline linked to every document, right?
Yeah, so what we can do that introduction document, we can add everything there. And then we have the sections like people can start writing in there, in their sections.
You mean to have links or straight
No,
away?
entire document.
Entire document. So we can start looking at language, start tying it all together.
Exactly, and we'll know like, okay, these are the sections that are pending. Otherwise, we'll need to go to every link and check where the stuff is. So one Google document, sections are labeled. People who are working on those sections, they know where to write. People who are commenting just can add the comments, and whatever works. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think you're right. I think as we're so close to getting the beta in, we really probably should just get to one document for consistency's sake. And also, like you said, if there's something that needs some attention, or if there's a group that needs some more voices, it'll be more obvious.
Yeah.
So, when are we going to see the CHI layout? Like, so far we
Oh, so
haven't.
layout. Let me share it with you guys. You remember we had this LaTeX,
Yeah.
right? So I added the CHI new layout on the same.
If
So
we
let
are writing in the same document, why aren't we transferring to the main layout so that we can at least look at as a a prototype. Sometimes paragraphs can go longer and longer.
We can do that also. The only challenge there is like it's hard to comment on it. Google Doc you can easily comment on it. So let me share my screen actually, and let me know if you guys can see it. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Went away.
Oh, okay. Let me again. Now, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. So let me share the link. It's the same link that we had for the waste paper.
Mm-hmm.
Let me add it to slide. So I kind of created like our development like version there. We have a folder which says development, staging, and production. The way we deploy the code, we will deploy the paper here. So development is where we will keep working right now. And so I added it to the paper writing channel. Let me add it to the meeting also. So I have pulled up the new version of 6CHI. But I hope I didn't miss it. So this is the new one. I can double check it. And we can start editing here if we want to. Only thing here is like commenting. So it becomes very challenging to follow the comments, which Google has easily spot the comments, reply to that. You will get it in the email, and all those things are pretty much easier. So we can start transferring the content here.
You know what, Neil? I'm wondering if maybe we should stick with the Google Doc then, just for commenting purposes, because you're right,
Yeah.
it is much easier to track, and I
Right.
feel like it just keeps everybody more involved and keeps the actual work more focused.
Right.
What do you guys think?
We can do 2 day slot or 3 day slot. Like we write on the Google Doc, and on the third day, whatever content is in the Google Doc, we will transfer it to this document.
What do you think, Trigva?
You know, as we're doing these brainstorming sessions, as long as people are contributing and writing and we're actually generating some content, then the Google Doc is the best way to do that. I think, though, as we move to the next phase, like this time next week, the whole thing should be,
In this, yeah.
it should be.
Yeah.
But right now, provided people are contributing, yeah, let's use a Google Doc.
Okay.
One thing we
Any
can do.
objections out there?
Not really objecting, but I really encourage the smooth transition. We don't have to go straight away, but like Neil said, we'll have content writing in the Google Doc. Folks can focus on writing in the Google Doc. At the same time, after 3 days, we transit the content to the Shellatics too.
Yeah, 'cause we only have another week of writing. I mean, we're on, by Friday. This thing needs to be LaTeX, and we're doing the final
Right.
4 days of editing.
I mean, once we have content moving, it is not hard. Like we just take it and paste it, and some
All right.
changes.
So we'll stay in the Google Doc until Friday, and then do the migration and tweak over the weekend, and then we'll be ready for submittal on Monday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
So let's start creating some content, folks.
Yeah, so the file Trigway shared, we can append everything to that file. Um,
It's in a shared setting. So right now it's Daemo platform. So, as I mentioned before, this is just stuff.
And so where in the overall outline does this content go?
This is going to go. I'm looking over here. It is. So it's going to come after the work section. And so I'm looking at the Daemo Chai 2016 outline. I think this. Yeah, someone's in it. So it goes intro, which is, right now 1,300 words. Then from the intro, it goes to the related works, and this is future.
And then to the Daemo.
Then it goes to what we're writing right now.
Which is the Daemo 2.5-page, 1,200 word section, yeah?
Well, so let me keep going. I'm sorry, I'm scaling down. The related work section is just ginormous. So then we're here in the Daemo section. So the Daemo section has 3 parts to it. There's the Daemo platform, which is, it needs to have a graphic, I think it was suggested. And then we're going to review the platform itself, the task feed, and then OpenGov.
Okay.
And then there's going to be 2 other pieces underneath it, and that's where Delrukshi and Angela are dealing with the Boomerang rep system, and then prototype tasks. Now, my understanding, and Delrukshi, I don't want to go too much beyond that, was that those 2 pieces were going to be represented mostly with graphics. Was that your understanding as well, Delrukshi?
Sorry, did you mean like the Boomerang reputation system comes with graphics?
Correct. That there was going to show, this is where we would drop in the conceptual diagram of how Boomerang worked. There would be maybe a snapshot of the rating interface.
Yes, it's mentioned in the outline as well.
So there will be content.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because we're going to have a graphic as well. Maybe this is as an aside. We should maybe get Carolina and Claudia. Maybe we should try to fold them into these conversations as well. It's time to start working on the actual graphics. That being said, once that is done, Al, then there is kind of a summation of the section, which is called the evaluation piece.
It's called what?
Evaluation.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was looking, I had a hard time finding which section we were because the related works was so long, but I found it, so I'm with you now. So we're looking to do this Daemo platform description.
That's right. If that's you highlighting, yes.
That's me.
Yeah, that is correct.
Is that you? Are you the chupacabra? I don't know what I am.
You're the Ibix.
I'm sorry, the document that I'm opening is not the document that you all see. I mean, can you see on the chat section? I've shared the document that Trigwa shared with us now.
Oh yeah, there's 2. I'm looking at Delrukshi, the Daemo CHI 2016 outline. That old document that it's still.
The new document that you shared with us, we just can view only. Is that the one that we are supposed to edit?
Yeah, you can edit. You should be able to do everything you need in it. You need me to send you another link?
No, it says only view only, so you haven't given the permission to write.
If you go into paper writing, the outline's there, and the link should link. Is the link not working on the outline worksheet?
No, no, Alison, this, if you check now, what Trigua shared a document in in the channel where he published to come to the chat here. So if you see now, just right hand side, you see a document that I shared, which shared by Trigua. I thought that's the document we are supposed to edit as a total.
I'm trying to find it.
I just placed it in the. Let me.
Worksheet, send it on over to you. So let me know if that one gets you into the doc.
Okay.
There's a lot of folks that are in here. We got hippo, we got rhino, we got a ferret, a pumpkin.
Yeah, Trigua is the document that I'm in now too, but still it's view only. Can anybody else edit it, but not me?
I think it's view only.
Yeah, that's right. It's view only. You have to share it like giving edit permission.
Oh, you're saying the actual document itself. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that can be changed.
So the link is shared, but the document's not shared? Do you know how to change that quickly?
Uh, who is the creator of the document?
His eyes
It's
fly.
Trigua, right? So I just sent a request for you. Perhaps you, or else you can commonly.
Oh, actually, one more thing. Will it be possible for everybody so whoever has created the document, give your email ID to that person, like Gmail specifically. So whenever we are editing, your name will show up. Right now, it's like entire Animal Planet gathers on
Yeah.
that Google Doc.
That's right.
So it becomes very challenging to see who is writing and why they are cutting up things or
So
adding
how do
things.
we change that?
So person who has created the document,
Uh-huh.
when he shares the access, he can add their names or Gmail IDs and
Oh,
then send the invite for editing the document. So whenever these people will access it, their names will appear rather than this
got
entire
it.
whatever Discovery channel.
Okay.
So I have updated it, so now anyone with link can edit. Let's see. Now let me enter. Let's see if how that it's set up.
Okay, now it's working. Now, when we share the link to Editable, there's an option that we can invite people, right? Isn't it, Neil? In that invite list, if we can enter the email address, so that straight away we'll go to the person, and then when they edit it, we can see it, right?
Yes, it will go in their mailbox and then they can access it.
Okay. And whenever they edit it, we can see their names coming up when the cursor is on the document, right?
You're right.
On the right hand side. Okay. Does everyone have the doc now?
Yes.
There you go. Anonymous skunk. It's already in it. Who's anonymous skunk? I wouldn't want to play an anonymous skunk either, so I get it. No. It's silver. Dynamic mushroom. Like it.
How do
Okay.
you know which animal you are?
We can't. And there's a pumpkin too. There's no animal.
Yeah.
I want to be the squirrel. Wait,
Oh.
who's highlighting? Who's the squirrel?
I think Jay Silver's an anonymous squirrel.
Actually, we should see how many.
Is Jay the squirrel?
Let's see.
Oh, who's a skunk?
Oh. Someone's got Wolverine. There's a wolf, dingo. Use Demento.
Should just pick a word, because I can't see which one I am.
I can see Trigway because he created this document, I think.
So let's.
Yeah.
Who's typing? This is Del Rucci. You're the elephant, Del Rucci.
This one's me.
You're a dingo. My baby ate my dingo.
Am I really a dingo?
Dingo ate my baby.
All right. All right. Enough with zoology.
So guys, let's see if we can do a little something here.
Okay.
So to reiterate, there's been some new folks that have joined. That essentially what we're going to focus on for writing is to really focus exclusively on the request relationship, and that essentially, not only does it needs to work, it is the cornerstone of the platform. And if it doesn't function, if it doesn't work, then nothing else really matters.
I like that we have a soundtrack.
Serenaded by sitar. So we have to be very, very purposeful and very focused in this section, as will constantly be, the control will always be, if we're going to write it, we need to be able to defend it or measure it. So that being said, I just cranked this out as a way to stimulate some ideas as it related to. Now we're here. I put it here because I stripped this down. This floor, but it is hopefully it captures what we're trying to do. So work on it, or I am not married to it. So if we want to shit can it, pardon the expression, and to start fresh, then let's do so. But I'd very much like for us to get a little more collective synergy going here instead of just talking about this.
Can we do sort of what we did with the original outline where, I mean, we know we have 1,200 words. Can we just sort of outline which points we want to cover so that we know exactly what needs to be in there and then iterate out from there?
Does somebody want to drive and own the document, or should that be eyes of the fly?
The entire document?
No, to work as the secretary right now as people are talking, or do we all just want to just type into it?
I think that's fine.
Which fine.
We can start writing in it. If 2 people are writing at one time, they can sync up, or 3 people are writing at one time in one paragraph, they can sync up, discuss it really quick, and then one person can write, another person can check, something like that. So, 3 people working on one section can have like 5 minutes hangout, 10 minutes hangout. Discuss the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and start writing about it.
So what are the points then? What are we focusing on? What elements of the worker-requester relationship are we focusing on specifically within the systems?
This is above introduction, right?
We're just writing right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so system one is reputation and another is prototype task. So before hire and after hire.
Right, but aren't we writing about the platform? Isn't that where we are?
Yes.
What the actual about crowdsourcing platform, that there are workers, that there are requesters, people come in, it's, everything from micro to macro, just to describe the actual crowdsourcing platform? Isn't that what we're doing, or?
Keep going.
No, I'm asking.
Yes. I think from we need to situate Daemo as as a holistic entity within the dialogue, and this is the opportunity to do so.
All right, so let me above this part, I'm just going to put in what our commitment is to the actual paper. Oops, that didn't quite do exactly how I wanted that to go. Just so we're clear on what the expectation is, that this is what we are looking to accomplish in this area. And so everything that we do under this should serve this purpose of the overall paper. That's more. Yeah, so where we start out saying that it's transacted by crowdsourcing marketplaces, I imagine that we want to actually define that, or do we then say in our particular platform, blah, blah, blah? Anybody have any ideas?
Well, let's see. I think now let's see. This is where having all the content in one spot would be helpful, because the related the related works.
So in the, okay, so Daemo platform, we can directly jump into the way we handle this operation.
Like reputation system and the prototyping task.
Yes.
Those come here, right? With
Yeah.
different
Those,
subsets.
those are going to be blown out underneath. So is this? So are you saying, Neil, that the Daemo piece is the introduction to this section as well? Because we're going to do the crowdsourcing platform has workers and requesters, the basics of what Daemo is, and then underneath there's going to be the task feed, and then instead of OpenGov, that should be the reps.
Well, no, this is where Bernstein wanted us to include OpenGov and include what the sort of the, not really just the features, but sort of veer a little towards the foundation of it and introduce it, because my interpretation at least was that in this area he wanted us to be very explicit about all the different pieces that are in the system. So we have workers and we have requesters. We have all these different types of tasks. Workers have access to their tasks through this mechanism of a task feed. There's also a communication tool where people can, I mean, my understanding was that he wanted a very explicit verbal description of the system. Did anybody else get that, or?
Yeah, that's the understanding. In the introduction, we introduce our, our pitch, and then in the system we go detail and then explain everything what we just pitch in the introduction section.
Okay. And then after that, there's an equally explicit boomerang paragraph and another equally explicit prototype paragraph.
That's my understanding.
Okay.
So, okay, I can roll with that. My my question is, the introduction, it's very atomized. It is very explicit in what the reputation system is and the prototyping system. It's pretty solid. I'm almost curious now, as it's how much more, which way should we go then as far as being explicit, Al? Should we atomize it even further, or now talk about in those little steps? Is that now where we talk about the connective tissue of trust?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing he wants us to do is to, I'm not sure how we actually relate it back to the introduction. I don't know if he wants us to do that at the beginning or the end.
So this is how we can do it. So we already said there are 2 points where it is kind of broken. When we say system, we talk about, okay, how system works, how prototype task works, how boomerang works. And then we say, okay, these many people actually came in, they rated each other. These many people came in, participated in prototype task, and this is how uh, we capture the results. This is how the systems that had boomerang provided accurate ratings as compared to other systems, and that's why it
Might
raised.
that get captured next in the study section? Might that be better content for that part?
In the study section, we
Yeah, yeah.
evaluate and
Evaluate
render the results, right?
Um, Did I lose everyone?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Arukshi, can you hear me?
Now I can hear it. It was totally blank.
I have that effect on people. So what Neil was talking about, I'm not disagreeing with it. I think that's part of our narrative. I'm just wondering if that belongs in the study section versus where we are. I am wondering if
Yes, you're right. That goes into study.
maybe.
So here we're just explaining how system is. So even if you don't unpack, it's okay.
Should we be explaining, because for as simple as the intro is, it doesn't talk specifically to trust, and to be honest, it says nothing of power. So I am
In introduction section, we did not say that workers will rate each other and then the tasks will appear. The certain workflow we can explain in the Beamer system because we did not much touch in the introduction section.
because you said workflow, so because that's going to get captured under the second half. I mean, because there's going to be two other sections underneath what we're doing right now. The boomerang reputation system will have workflow. The prototype piece under here will also have workflow. So we're capturing that as well. Are you suggesting, Rukshi, that maybe in the platform section we setting that up a little more?
Yeah, because when Professor was saying a conceptual diagram, in my mind, what that is the conceptual, the workflow that we show we show in a diagram that has a prototyping task, and then it has how workers deal with it, and then that flow can be explained in the more detail.
Guys, what do you think about that? Is that a redundancy that we can afford in light of definitely we're going to be short of space? So Neil, is that a redundancy, or is that something we should do? Does having the text then set up the graphic?
I think system is more about our overall architecture, how it's gonna fit together, how the operational flow of prototype task works, how the boomerang works in much more detail. Uh,
Because are we really just trying to say how they work, or how do they facilitate, or how do they start growing trust? Is this the point now where we start making that tangible connection between what the reputation system and what the prototype system, how they encourage trust, or they set the stage for trust?
yeah, but we don't prove it there. We prove it in our evaluation that they are they successfully re-establish the trust. Here we just take it to the launch, to the point like, okay, this is how it works. So in the introduction, we already talked about 2 points. Now we will go in much more details about those 2 points, explaining how operations works, how prototype task is laid out. We might give a couple of examples, right? Oh, we ran this study where 100,000 images were um, there to label and things like that. Um, and that's just operation, nothing about results.
Or trust.
Kind of. So, introduction says trust is broken in two places. System says this is what we are gonna do to create a platform that will help reestablish trust. And then evaluation says this is what we did by recruiting people and who used our system. This is the method that shows that task quality is improved, so there is less confusion. Boomerang works perfectly, resolves all the inflation problems, and that reestablishes the trust. So the argument we're making is like that.
Neil, is the music at your house or Jay Silver's house?
Do you like it?
No, it's nice. I was trying to, I was watching the mute buttons, trying to figure out whose house it was coming from.
It's my guitar.
Oh, I love it. Great. Good for the creative process.
Please.
Yeah, before people fall asleep.
Yeah, we don't need that at this hour, at least not East Coast.
Okay, so
With the band and
we're going to talk about then how the tools are used.
I believe so. I know we've got some folks here who've been a little bit quiet. I know Carlos is here, Saif is here, Juichi is here. So Mohammed said he was having a hard time with his speakers. Anybody else have anything? I'm going to take that as a no.
Alrighty then. Then yeah, let's then. It's all.
I mean, how much detail do we need to go into about defining workers? I'm assuming like a sentence on or two on workers and requesters, Neil, or how granular do we need to make this?
I think we can do the
Anyone?
first pass on it. It's fine. And then we can keep reiterating over.
So Trigva, do you want to actually have us write now, or
I
what do you think?
just wanted to tap into some creative juices. We can do, if folks are comfortable writing now, awesome. We have the forum for it.
Okay.
For those that are not feeling comfortable in this forum, I think we now have the purposefulness, we have the direction from writing, and then connect tomorrow night, Sunday night, and tie this down, because I'd like for us to get as much content done by Monday, so it gives us time to let it kind of settle a little bit and then edit, iterate.
Got it.
That would be my plan, or at least that's the way I like to write.
Okay. I jotted down a few lines of some of the things that we want to cover, at least in that one little section. Are we missing things? Like, I'm talking about like in this little bit here, like just like the mechanics of what we want to cover. Are there other aspects, Neil? You've seen. Is there anything else that we've built or that we're going to have available? Like, I don't know. Are we going to? I know there's talk of a dashboard, but I haven't seen the code on the dashboard, so I don't know the particulars of what folks will have when. And can you provide a little insight there?
Yes, I think we have prototype task. We have dashboard where worker can pick up the task. We have dashboard where requester can see the task and accept, reject, give feedback on it. So those components we we can either add as a figure and then describe them, or we can just gently touch on them, like workflow. Workflow will be like requester is coming, he's walking through the screens, he's accepting
Yeah.
the task and things like that.
Okay.
So we can do that.
So let's just, right now, let's just talk through it. Neil, since you're here, does anyone else, I mean, Delrukshi, do you want to assume the role of a worker or a requester? And you guys can riff off. We'll capture we'll capture it in a narrative, and then we can build it. So let's, because what is, we have two angles we need to write to. We're going to need to have the worker side and then the requester side. So let's just walk through what the worker, let's just do, the reputation.
Okay, let's assume workers are coming. There are predefined tasks, different level of tasks are there. This is for reputation system, right? Let's say quality A task, quality B task, and quality C. Very good task, medium task, and the very bad task. The requesters sit down, and then they take any task, and then at the end of the day, they rate it, and then they rate the requester. The very good task will be rated high, and then it will go as that. And then when the worker when they rate high check classes, the next day also when they come, they'll see the same requester's task again. And then
so those update daily, or does the task feed update immediately?
It's not immediately, right? Isn't it, Neil?
I don't know, Neil. What's the
what is that?
The integration of the ratings as it affects the task feed? Is that immediate?
Yes, immediate effect. Yeah.
Okay. And that's from day one. It will be that way, right?
Right.
Okay.
And
Okay,
then
so let me add this paper again.
Because I know we were talking about doing it for the eval, but I wasn't sure if that was in the actual system or if it was just for the experiment.
Yeah. So this section is all our system. So we say, okay, to address the trust issue, this. To address the trust, like broken trust before the hiring, we introduce prototype task, and then we go in detail about function of prototype task. Similarly, to address the trust after hiring, we have this reputation, and then we go in detail of it.
To define then the trust.
Okay. Or else, like reputation systems have been like this so far, and here we explain is when the request when the worker rate the same requester, then it will be to come into their task feed again and again. What are the benefits of it? What are the we can emphasize on the how we establish the trust on that in the system phase as a detail thing, which we did not cover in the introduction section.
Okay,
Just
so I just added this Twitch paper here.
So we say, okay, to address the trust issue, to address the trust, like broken trust that before the hiring, we
Somebody open the YouTube link.
go in detail about similarly to address the.
Is that you talking?
perhaps William Dye, could you mute yourself or something?
Yeah, I think somebody opened the YouTube link. So
Okay.
Yeah, because that was weird.
Okay, now Neil, yeah.
so I just added the Twitch paper. So if you guys can look through it. So it's a kind of a good template. So can you see my screen? I cannot see my screen.
I
Now
can't.
I can see
I
it.
see William.
I see it now.
I can see you.
So introduction that we already have. The 2 points about that. Our system, right? Then related work. And this is the section that we are looking at. This Twitch crowdsourcing, right? So in our case, Daemo. And then it gives like information about the system. It says, okay, Twitch is an Android app, and so on. We need to do the same thing. And then it talks about like 3 studies that they ran. Field deployment and evaluation. So that goes for our evaluation part, like things that we will run as a study results. So first is just a detail of study, who will be involved, like users and things like that, and then results of it. And discussion, conclusion, that's it. So for the system section, we are here, from here. And that involves our workflow for the both prototype and preparation part.
The reputation system deals with reputation inflation. What are the other trust points that are destroyed there? Is it bad community? I mean, reputation inflation encounters a lot of stuff, or it embraces a lot of smaller features. What are some of the other points of distrust that that present themselves?
Distrust. Those are the 2 elements. If OpenGo comes in, then we talk about power. But those are the key issues related to trust. Before hiring, after hiring.
The payment? Do we want to throw money in here?
Payment is not, we are not targeting payment. I mean, indirectly we are. that okay, if requester is better, if requester is good, uh, you're gonna get paid. And that's why when we do this evaluation, we have to be very careful too. So we are not capturing, quantifying feedback. What we are capturing is final opinion, and that opinion is about people, not about the work.
Correct.
And there is implicit signal that number represents. That implicit signal may be payment was good, or the task was better designed, or requester was very well communicated, kind of like he had good ability to like communicate and act on the feedback and things like that. So those elements are
So
just like you're spitting out the number.
So to clarify, Neil, are we evaluating the workers and the requesters, or are we rating the work?
At present,
The reputation system,
it's more towards evaluating people.
the individuals. Okay.
And
We
I
have
think
to.
when I was looking at that Hangout on, it was Friday or something, I watched in the morning the reputation hangout. That's what he was pointing about, which is right, that you evaluate the process, not people.
Okay. So I've added two little. Maybe this will help us just a little bit. So, like what Neil said, it's like let's break it down to address the trust feature at intake, the trust problems we're going to solve, and then here is how we address trust issues. Problem is
Alright guys, I might need to drop out.
with the band.
With the what?
You got the rest of the band. You going for a gig?
Oh no gig, it's my one gig at home.
All right, so Neil, then before you jet, is this the two bullets that you have here? That's the gist. Yes. This is the framework, so we can get writing on this. Hello? Hello?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me?
So we'll just do it. We'll structure it like this. We'll just say we'll break it down that we'll talk what Daemo is. We'll have to give it.
Right. So here there are a few things, right? Like as we introduce quantitative measures like incomplete information, reviewer is gonna look for what do you do to build a complete information. Symmetrical, he is gonna look for how do you achieve the balance. Uncertainty, he is gonna look for how do you solve it so that it is certain, or how do you quantify that uncertainty.
Right, and how do we address this? And that with the prototype system is that there is no longer incomplete information. That it now, in order to produce a macro task, there is this there's this rapid prototyping process that by complete information, but it minimizes the information disharmony. And by doing so, it's no longer a one-way process now, in which you now have a requester that drops work on you and isn't always responsive. There is critical engagement, which now makes it a bilateral communication platform. Then that continues because uncertainty comes from complete information and asymmetrical communication. So that is mitigated, and obviously poorly constructed task requests. When you now have this engagement, that becomes less of an issue. Boom.
Cool.
Is that not detailed enough, or does that not satisfy what Bernstein's going to be looking for? Or is he going to be looking for some more computational? When we define a trust problem, if there is not a computational dynamic to it, it is behavioral.
I mean, I think you're doing exactly what we set out to do, which is to take it to break it down even more. In the introduction, you say it generally, and I think this is a nice way to give some specificity to the trust issue that was introduced. Because by introducing the mechanics, it sets you up well for the evaluation, for sure. I like it. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think it's good. So.
It's I mean, seriously, I think you're raising the right points. Is Bernstein, how do we need to write this in such a way that Bernstein is going to buy it? Because
No, I mean,
voice of the consumer right now.
we don't want to sell it.
No, I'm just using him as he's representing what the chai pod.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I think it's good. Yeah. It will revolve more. So what's gonna happen is there will be a lot of things that we might find redundant because once we fit everything together, and that will give us much more what do we call a smoother run once we revisit it. So for now, I would say don't worry about it. We'll just keep adding the content. If you get stuck somewhere, we'll think about it. But we will not put much more time. Yeah, I mean.
So, what do you guys think about that then? We'll take these two, the bullets 1 and 2, and just kind of use those. Let's just write underneath them. Okay. These will be 2 paragraphs. So one is the prototype. Basically, we have. It's pretty straightforward. To address the trust problem at intake, we built a prototype system, and we built it because the trust problem is at this juncture are these points, and then the solution through the system to address those points is then the next sentence. So essentially, this number 1, we could essentially do it in 8 lines, 5 sentences. Same with number 2. And then we scroll up here. That deals with 2 of our bullets. We then need to, so Neil, we then have a flat-out bullet for OpGov. Al? Thinking not, did you?
Well,
We overwrite and then cut it out.
yeah, I mean, you can always write it and cut it out. But I mean, I think the point was to not present OpenGov at the same sort of level in parallel as the other 2. That he wanted it wrapped into the features and mechanics of the system.
Yeah.
So, but if you write it, it's no reason not to.
We talk about then what Daemo is. Like, should we?
That overall goes there, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did you say, Neil?
That what demo is kind of goes in that part.
Yeah, the section before, right?
Yeah.
That's what's place. This is probably what Daemo is. This is where we can fold in.
I think that will come before.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I just did 1, 2, 3. But
yeah.
It should be.
Okay, guys. I will need to get going, but I will try to join in if you guys here. Maybe in 20 to 30 minutes. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow.
How long do you want to go on this particular sprint this evening, Trigva?
We are an hour 35 into it. Effective meetings stop becoming effective after 45 minutes. So I think we're probably on the other side of our
Second, yeah. And it's Saturday night, so.
Yeah. So folks, let's see. We've got some stuff. Let's, if you want to, just start writing. It's these italic pieces. I think that if you want to write underneath.
Are we going to do another call tomorrow, T?
I think we should.
Okay.
I think we should.
All right.
I mean,
is there anybody who can or is interested in writing in some of this between now and tomorrow? I'm not sure what people's timelines look like right now.
I can work on it tonight.
Awesome.
That's
okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, let's.
William is the prince.
Yes, he is. Got some mad writing skills, kid. I like it. All right, then let's do this. Let's. So, what time tomorrow, Trigva? Same time?
Yeah, I mean, if the 10 o'clock works well for me.
Me too.
Cool.
You know, I've got a related works session that I'm doing at 1:30 when boys are napping. If we'd like, we can fold. I can hide this as well, because actually those related works relate specifically to what we're talking about. So it all, they're actually maybe good there. So if you all would like, maybe do a 1:30, 2 o'clock call.
Okay.
We'll throw it out there, and if you all want to do it, that'd be awesome. Yeah, Mohammed, to your question, yes, you know, that section, that's where start throwing in your OpenGov documentation there under number 1, what Daemo is. Um, all right, so let's close this out. Is everyone feeling kind of comfortable with what we're looking to do?
I feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, Carlos, what do you think?
I agree.
Short, sweet, and to the point. Done.
Words there.
Oh.
Okay. Well,
Alrighty, so tomorrow 1:30.
guys, let's let's do a little ad hoc. And anyone have any questions? Reach on out to anyone that's on the call. Throw it into the OpenGov. No, Delrixie, I don't have the 10 p.m. set up yet. Are you using that for the RepSys piece, or want to over schedule? But if that slot is not taken, then yeah, we'll shoot for 10 o'clock tomorrow as well.
But we're gonna do 1:30 and 10 then.
Well, the 1:30 will be ad hoc. If anyone can join, great.
Oh. Okay.
All
right, so 10 o'clock is official. 1:30 is move the needle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to keep things going. Yes, William, that's exactly it. That's the spot. And so either write to those ideas, write under those ideas, however you want to. Everyone, since we're shared document, just annotate. Okay, if you're making an addition and you're cutting out, make it clear. If you're cutting something, don't delete it. Paste it underneath or paste it somewhere else so we can retrieve it. I know the system is going to capture all the changes, but let's just, kind of put a bit of effort into it, and then it's gone. So really nice, and we're good to go. Okay. So, everyone, thank you very much for participating late on a Saturday.
Thank you, Trina.
You're welcome, folks. This was a lot of fun. And
Thank you.
Please, everyone, this is an opportunity to participate, and whether it's one line, one paragraph, one word, if you just don't know, that one piece of contribution could really be what turns the particular section. So please, don't be shy. Got questions to ask, but would love everyone to throw some copy out there and truly a collective paper. Because I think at the end of the day, when we start seeing it all start to unfurl, it's gonna be kind of sexy. So, like I said, whether it's a word, a sentence, a whole paragraph, every bit of contribution is greatly appreciated. So. That's going to be my postulating for the day. So I'm going to shut this thing down. So everyone, have yourself a good evening. Get some rest, or get on your typewriter. We'll see you. Nice little touch there, Neil.
Or Neil's guitar.
Yeah. So 1:30 tomorrow, folks. We'll see you all
right,
then.
thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Oh.
Everyone, bye.
It was nice to hear